going there, and they had on again. Here we go.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
And you can see that vehicle has been disabled.
And let's see how much control this driver has.
Yeah, no question that those tires have limited the capacity of this vehicle. On and off, stop.
Oh, the driver's out. Is he going to run?
This is dangerous. Run? Okay. And we never know. Like
Screaming.
Again, suicide. You know that we've seen awful situations like this, especially when he starts to grab at things and not do what he's being told to do. And a male driver there, unclear if there's anybody else there, waving, gesturing, angry.
The question
agitated.
Is, who does this in front of law enforcement and behaves like this? You have to wonder, is the person on drugs? Huge show of law enforcement presence on this one. You have to wonder again how much they know about this driver and this suspect, how badly they want to bring this person into custody. Very, very strange behavior here.
Yeah, certainly. We don't know what the mental capacity is. Perhaps his significant other broke up with him. It's the holidays. You have no idea what's going on in this case if they're under the influence. Bottom line, he's waving his hands. Guns are drawn. They have to be very careful here. The deputies, they want to bring this to a safe conclusion. Yeah. They want to go home safe to their loved ones, those deputies.
And they know that every news chopper is overhead broadcasting this live,
no question. But you could just tell how agitated this driver, this male suspect is.
And you think, too, where is this driver going? Where does this driver think he's going? They have this road, for the most part, blocked off, so there's no other cars to try to carjack.
It's clear that this driver probably isn't thinking much.
No, and the bottom line, as I always say, Alex and Christine, is they do this, and what we're seeing, because he's still not in custody. He doesn't have handcuffs on. He's not going to jail yet. Well, so what's going to happen? Is he going to be able to get away? Is there a chance? What is he doing here? There's the deputies there starting to roll up, but now they're backing off a bit. And we do not have clarification. We don't have any intel yet whether or not that this individual is believed to be armed, but they have to address it like he is armed.
And with the officer, the deputies backing up there, you have to wonder, what intel did they get there? What was that driver saying, perhaps, that had them retreat just a little bit to get more safety?
So if you're just joining us, the time now is 10:30. You're watching the Fox 11 News at 10. I'm Alex Michelson with Christine Devine and Rick Dickert. We are watching a strange pursuit that has been a start and stop pursuit in the San Gabriel Valley. This driver just a few moments ago got out of the vehicle, clearly agitated, screaming at law enforcement. Pro tip,
here we go.
Not a smart strategy to scream at law enforcement with stuff in your hands as they all have guns drawn.
And this man is very lucky at this point. You could see the other deputies there. And they're trying to do whatever they can to set up that perimeter. There's the 60 freeway there. That's Wilcox Avenue there. That this driver's underneath the overpass. Now you can see the night sun. That illumination that you see on the 60 freeway is from the helicopters, the deputy ships light there. But and there are deputies here trying to block off the street, trying to keep innocent bystanders safe. And just trying to bring this to a peaceful ending, and they've given this man many times to just do that. We're hoping that this will come to a conclusion right here. But you can see that
Rick,
the overpass is blocking the view.
Yeah, and there's not an entrance right at that location either. We are hearing that deputies are moving in here.
Yes.
Obviously, our view is blocked here. We can only pray for the safety of those law enforcement officers and for the suspect as well. Obviously, somebody is having a very bad day, very agitated, very bizarre behavior. You have to wonder if there's drugs involved here. This has been a stop-and-go pursuit.
Here we go. We're moving the helicopter, too, to try to get a better vantage point. We're heading south of the freeway here, and we're going to look under the overpass to see if we can get a better shot from our...
Part of the reason there's so much fascination with these pursuits is that there are instances where people get away.
No
question. We see it all the time here on Fox 11. Most of the time they don't. Some of the time, though, they do. Here we go, keeping driving now. Maybe we'll drive past that freeway. And It is very, very, very difficult to figure out a scenario where this driver gets away in this instance.
All right, and
with that much law enforcement behind this guy, and with that the car
moving.
that badly damaged.
There he goes. He's on. He's moving again there.
Where is this person going to go?
Yeah. Pomona Boulevard there at Wilcox, just passing underneath the 60 freeway. And here's the deal: the tires, at least on the left side, we're hearing all four have been compromised by the spike strips. But clearly on the left side, the left front and left back side, they've been compromised here. Deputies have the advantage, obviously, in terms of their power there with the hardworking, dedicated men and women of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. And all they want to do is bring this to a safe conclusion. But here we are. We're in front of a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, and you wonder, like, we just saw another driver go into the 7-Eleven parking lot there. I mean, this is not a safe place for these people to be. This guy could be wanting a suicide by cop. The way that this person was acting, sort of tempting law enforcement basically to shoot him.
That's what I was...
And so if you're nearby there, like those other bystanders, you could get caught in crossfire that could escalate real rapidly here.
There's no question, and I halted in saying that, but I started to say that, as you said, Alex. You know, we've seen these awful situations, what we call suicide by cop, meaning that an individual who is being chased, who's being tracked, who is in that point of despair, wants to go away awfully, unfortunately, and will do whatever he or she does to get that attention from officers. But officers don't want to do that unless they know that their lives are at risk or the public's lives are at risk. That's what these officers do, day in and day out, carrying the badge there. And that's what we're seeing here. And this man clearly...
Look at the guy on the bottom. It's just out there watching all this. Not a very safe or smart place to be.
And recording and, you know, trying, as people get interested in this, you could clearly see there that those two tires are damaged there by the spike strips. You could see that the deputies now are positioning themselves in ways to protect the public, like this deputy just rolled up in the parking lot there, as you mentioned, Alex and Christine, in the 7-Eleven. Get away. You know, we need you to be, there you go, like back off there, and he's going to back off. And this guy still has his phone. It clearly looks to me that he's communicating with somebody.
Well, you had to have that deputy move in to get that person out of the way. Could be a looky-loo, could be somebody from the area, could be, you know, sometimes people are out there trying to capture law enforcement on camera. But you're right, the safety issue here is concerning because we don't know the mindset of this person, this suspect here. I don't know if that's a business or a home to the top of the screen there. It looks like it might be a business, but now you have the concern of other people as this driver has been able to make his way into an area that has a little bit more activity, a little bit more population. If there's a store right there, you've got a clerk working there, you've got customers perhaps there. We've seen other cars in the area. Much more of a concern now for other people.
And if you're law enforcement, here's what you know, that this person is clearly agitated, yelling at you, when you're yelling commands, not obeying them, has stuff in his hands, kept reaching back to the vehicle, has not been willing to put his hands up. So what are you thinking? There could be a gun in there. This person's not acting rationally. And you've got to be worried about your own safety and the safety of everybody else around, because this person is acting crazy.
And you have flat tires, a car that's disabled. Now you're in a residential area, so a lot of concerns here. But the driver knows that car isn't doing very well because of the tires and the ability to move the car. So still not giving up.
And just looking, you know, obviously at his mannerism, we keep saying how agitated he is. He's clearly speaking to somebody on a cell phone there and trying to make sense of what he should do at this point. He's not running. He's not racing. He does a little bit. He does a little cat and mouse. He moves for a half a block or so and then pulls back over. But he's not trying to completely evade these deputies and get on a freeway or pick up a side street and just rip out of there. That's not what's happening here. So again, the stability, the mental stability of this individual clearly is unhinged. And these deputies know it, and they're doing whatever they can at this point to protect this neighborhood that is governed by the law enforcement of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
You wonder, Rick, I mean, there's a few different tactics they could use, and we've seen in these scenarios. One, a canine. Sometimes they'll deploy. Two, they will shoot non-lethal rounds to try to break the window. Three, sometimes they'll throw gas into the vehicle to make it so uncomfortable that the person has to leave. And four, sometimes they'll bring in their SWAT vehicles, the really big vehicles that literally blocks the person in so they can't go anywhere. We haven't seen any of those deployed yet, Rick, but now law enforcement trying to figure out what to do next.
Yeah, the Bearcats and what have you. And, you know, maybe crisis negotiators, because we have seen standoffs like this last for hours, blocking freeways for hours. And at this point, that's where we are. The vehicle clearly has been disabled by the spike strips, those two tires that you see there in the front and the back. And this individual is speaking on their cell phone to somebody trying to figure out what he's going to do. And he has to know. He sees the manpower, the human power, the woman power behind him, and definitely knows that it's very unlikely he's going to get away.
Can you imagine being the 7-Eleven clerk there, working that store right there, and having to witness this and have your business kind of essentially shut down right now?
And watching, you're right, and watching from those 7-Elevens, those stores obviously so illuminated with full floor-to-ceiling windows. And the danger, too, that, you know, possibly could be in play with this. But these deputies know that. They're highly trained, and they're setting up a situation. But you can see how he's moving his phone. You see that? He's moving his phone, and he's talking in a very agitated way to somebody. That's what it appears, at least from our vantage point from Skybox. If you're just tuning in, this is a pursuit. It was a pursuit. It's on and off. Now it's a standoff here, just off the 60 freeway here at Wilcox Avenue.
Now, this location is East LA, Monterey Park-ish. Like you said, off the 60 freeway, above the 60 freeway here. You know, with that 7-Eleven store there, the big concern is customers, the clerk, the person running into that location. As you pull out wide there, you see this is residential. You see law enforcement blocking off those roads there, trying to get ahead of the suspect should that car move forward. Look at, okay, there's the picture there of the 7-Eleven with cars there, customers there, people who perhaps were using that business were either staying put or stuck there.
But you can see that deputies are setting up that line, that perimeter, as I speak of, to make sure that we keep this here where it's at. Traffic being held there.
Oh, my
this is
goodness.
Just off the 60 freeway here.
Look at that.
Yeah, there's a backup there. That's the frontage road there that parallels the 60 freeway. And this driver now hasn't moved in a bit of time. We've seen a little cat and mouse action since we first picked this pursuit up during the top of our newscast here on Fox 11. But clearly, this man, it's a male driver, still unclear of the want, still unclear why the pursuit started, why the lights and siren went on. What they know about this individual, we don't know a lot. The bottom line is they ran. They ran. They were told to pull over. They ran, and they still are not doing what they're told.
And some of the scanner traffic indicates, and this is not confirmed yet, but scanner traffic indicates the want was assault with a deadly weapon with a knife, which would lead to officers backing up and being careful, and may be what that person had in his hands.
A knife is just as lethal as we've seen as a gun is, or any other. A car is a lethal weapon. We've seen these individuals ram their vehicles into police squad cars and sheriff's deputies units here, and that can be definitely a lethal threat as well. There's the 7-Eleven there on the corner.
And they're the people
outside watching.
Imagine, Rick, if you're those motorists there that are stuck at the top there of the road there, who are having to call home and say, yeah, there's a pursuit standoff. I might be here a while, because who knows when this could end. And there's been no attempt right now to take motorists off that freeway there. They're just kind of stuck there waiting. Could be a long night for them.
Yeah, and the 60 freeway, by the way, everybody, not impacted at this time. East and westbound lanes are open. This is adjacent to the 60. We saw the 60 overpass, but it is not being impacted. There may be an on-ramp or off-ramp nearby, but the 60 freeway is open. You could see the suspect there again, that male suspect communicating on his cell phone. You could see the light from that cell phone. And you see the deputies there, guns drawn, giving him clear instructions to just give himself up, and he's not abiding by their instructions.
And now we have officially confirmed what the scanner traffic was indicating, that the want on this is assault with a deadly weapon with a knife. We don't know who was assaulted, but we do know that is the allegation, and that is why law enforcement is a little more cautious on this than they would be if they didn't know that the person was armed.
He's so agitated. You could just see his movement there, even in the darkness, and we can get a little bit of a glimpse because of the light from that cell phone that he's communicating on. And deputies know that. Deputies are pushing people back from that. That's the 7-Eleven there. Stay away, you know, stay out of harm's way. Obviously, if it's just a knife, they are out of harm's way at this point, but you never know, and they have to assume there could be a gun involved as well. That's how they treat all of these individual situations. And deputies are all around this neighborhood, in the alleys there, setting up those perimeters, as I say, those lines to keep everybody safe. If you're anywhere near here, obviously you hear the helicopters. You hear the bullhorns from the deputies there directing this individual what to do. Obviously, just stay inside, doors and windows locked, common sense, because this guy has been erratic. He has gotten out of his vehicle once, and that could happen again.
Erratic, that's a really good word for that person's behavior. Interesting take on human nature as you look at the people that were at the 7-Eleven there. Didn't seem to me that their vehicles are blocked in, that there's a way to exit the 7-Eleven should you want to go home. It's 10:45 at night, yet you still see cars staying put there. You see people standing outside taking a look at what's going on.
For the same reason, we're still on this story when there's a whole day of other news. People are fascinated to see how this is going to end.
And we got movement here by deputies again. So let's see what happens, because he has driven off in the past. And we'll see if they can get at him.
That shield.
Yep. This is they're going to pull him out. They're going to show force here. They have to. They have to show force. They've given him plenty of chances. They pulled him out of the vehicle. They're going to cuff him. They're detaining him, and they're going to take him off to jail. They're going to clear the vehicle. They're going to throw up the four fingers, as we say, the code 4. And hopefully, thankfully, this has come to a safe conclusion. We don't know everything behind this story. You could see that non-lethal weapon that was drawn by a deputy there, that it looks like they just went in there and grabbed him, right? Alex, Christine?
Yeah.
Obviously, they felt safe enough to do that. You talked about, Alex, a deadly weapon with a knife there. Apparently, those deputies felt like, we can handle this, we can bring this to an end. And there you have that suspect there in custody. For those motorists there, welcome news for those cars that are stuck there, trapped, waiting for this to end. And
no indication that there was anybody else in that vehicle. So we glad to see that there's a safe ending to this. In the meantime, let's get to some of that other news that